Hello, gorgeous. I hope you're doing fantastic today. We are talking about all drugstore makeup. This whole look that I created today was completely done with drugstore makeup. And I wanted to show you in this video that you can achieve amazing makeup looks on a budget, or even with just drugstore makeup. You don't have to buy super expensive makeup. Before we get into the video though, my name is Christine. I am a lover of fashion of makeup, especially eyeshadow. So if you'd like to see more eyeshadow content, please consider subscribing. I think you would really enjoy some of my videos. And without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so let's get started. So I have absolutely nothing on my face, so I'm gonna start with my brows and setting my eyelids for the eyeshadow. For the brows, I'm going to take the NYX pomade. This one is in Espresso number 4. I'm gonna take a brow brush. This one is by e.l.f., the Duo Brow. I'm going to line under my brows and then over. Just going with the natural brow line. I'm overdrawing just a little bit right here because I want to fade in to the ends of my eyebrows. All right, I'm gonna fill in just the ends. And then I'm taking the spoolie side and just kind of working that extra product towards the center of my face to create that faded brow. I'm gonna do the same to the other eye, and then we'll go ahead and prime our eyelids. I also really like the Covergirl Ultra Fine Brow Pencil. This is what it looks like. It has a spoolie on one end, and then it has the retractable product on the other end. It's a lot easier to work with, especially for beginners whenever you're doing your eyebrows rather than the pomade. And I say it would give very similar look if you use it the same way. All right, I'm next going to do the brow gel, and I'm using the Essence brow gel. This one is Brownie Brows. They also have one for blondes and even darker hair. I'm really just using this to set them down a little bit. It doesn't have like a super strong hold like other brow gels, but it's mostly kind of just to thicken my eyebrows up a little bit because I have very thin, sparse eyebrows. And to prime my eyelids, I'm going to be using the Covergirl trueblend. This one is very similar to the Tarte Shape Tape. This one is in light ivory, and I'm just gonna take a tiny little bit. I'm using this as an eyeshadow primer. I like to use very thick or full coverage concealers to prime my eyes to get a very even base. I also always use a shade or two lighter than my natural skin tone to make that eyeshadow pop a bit more. And then I'm going to go in and set that with the Rimmel Stay Matte. Sorry, mine is super old. This is my all-time favorite powder, drugstore, high-end, all-time favorite powder. I'm going to set that with this is an e.l.f. brush, the small tapered brush. And I am not swiping, I am pressing the powder into my eyelids. Right, and for the eyeshadow, I'm going to be using the NYX Ultimate Eyeshadow Palette. This one is the Ultimate Utopia palette. They have, I think, a few more of these palettes, different shades. Loved the color story. So that's why I was really interested in this one. It's got your mix of warm tones, cool tones, grungy tones, girly tones. So that's why I really was interested in getting this palette in my collection. Navy blue shade. I think I'm going to be just putting that in my outer V, I believe. Yeah, I'm just gonna put that in my outer V with a large blending brush. This one's came in a pack with Morphe's brushes. I'm just gonna dip that in. And I'm going to just take that and put it in the outer V. I've always had trouble trying to find drugstore eyeshadows that to me are good quality, worth the price, worth paying for. I've always preferred higher end eyeshadows, but some drugstore eyeshadows that I really love are NYX has some amazing ones, and Revolution honestly has some really good ones. So right now I'm just packing the eyeshadow on. I'm not blending it all yet. I'm gonna bring that in a little bit more towards the center of my eyelids, packing it on still. But the M507, it's a smaller blending brush. I'm gonna go in with this darker bluey purple shade. I'm just going to deepen that up a bit. Again, packing it on first. I'm gonna use that same brush I used for packing on the blue and kind of blend those two together. Working back and forth with those two colors until I get the desired depth that I want. Alright, I'm gonna go in with another blending brush. This one is by It Cosmetics. It's a dual-ended brush. It's got the all over and then the crease one. So I'm gonna take the crease one and I'm gonna go in with this lighter peachy shade. And I'm going to put that in my crease. I'm going to blend this up towards my brow a bit. I wanted to use a warmer shade with this look to kind of balance out how cool toned it is. We've got a little bit of fallout, and that's to be expected with this eyeshadow palette, but you can always clean it back up. And now I am going to take a flat brush and I'm going to wet it a little bit. I'm going to take this blue shimmery shade and pack it on my lid. It's almost kind of got a green hint to it. Not going too far in the corner because I'm going to be putting another shimmer shade there. And I'm just blending into that navy that we have on the outer corner. All right, and in the inner corner, I'm going to be using this gold shade just to warm it up just a bit more. Also wetting that to match the metallic look. I'm just placing that in the corner and blending it out. Blending it up towards the brow. Blending it out towards the eyelid, and also packing it in my inner corner. And then after I've got my eyeshadow done, I always like to clean up the fallout so it doesn't mix with my foundation. I'm going to put mascara on my top lashes and let that set and dry while I'm doing the rest of my face. The mascara I'm using is the Essence Lash Princess. This isn't the waterproof one. I'm not a huge fan of the waterproof one because it's so hard to take off at the end of the day. And this one doesn't smear, flake, or smudge for me, so. And this is just one coat I'm placing. All right, for primer, I'm going to be going in with the Flower In Your Prime. This is the illuminating primer. I absolutely love this primer. It's my all-time favorite primer. And for those of you who do not like illuminating primers, who have more oily skin and want to combat that, the e.l.f. Poreless, or the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer is amazing for that. It fills in your pores without feeling super cakey or silicone-y. It actually feels very light in the skin, so I'm gonna go ahead and use a little bit of that just on the sides of my face where I have or may have some pores. Alright, foundation I'm using is the Maybelline Fit Me. My shade is 112 Natural Ivory. This is the matte and poreless. I know they have an illuminating one as well, but this one, I don't feel like it's mattifying. It's more of a satin. But you can set it down to look very matte. And I'm just putting this on the back of my hand and putting dots on my face with the foundation that I put on the back of my hand. Same sponge that I used to set my eyelids with the concealer. It's by e.l.f. It's actually one of my favorite drugstore sponges. It's really soft and bouncy. I know a lot of people really like the Real Techniques, and I have that one too, and I do love it, but I definitely prefer this one. Now I'm just bouncing the product into my skin to give more of a natural look. I definitely prefer sponges over brushes for applying liquid products because it blends into the skin better in my opinion. Powder products though, I do like to use a brush with. Making sure I get all that product blended into my creases of my nose and my mouth. Dragging it a little bit down my chin and neck. I always like to do my brows before my foundation because it gets slippery. My skin gets slippery with the foundation on. I don't personally set my whole face, so that's why it's slippery. I don't like to feel dry. The concealers I'm going to be using, again, the Maybelline Fit Me. It's very similar to the NARS concealer. This one is in shade 10 Fair Clair. I'm going to just do a little triangle on both eyes. And then to brighten that up a bit, because this is just a shade lighter and I like it just a little bit lighter underneath my eyes, I'm going to take, again, that Covergirl trueblend concealer that I used to set my eye, or to prime my eyes. I'm putting a dab of that in each corner of my eyelid, or my under eyes, so that I can brighten it up just a bit more. And balancing that out just under my eyes and a bit out towards my hairline. If it's hard for you to get in underneath your eyes with this larger sponge, they do make smaller ones, and this actually came in a set. And again, setting that with my Rimmel Stay Matte powder, my all-time favorite powder. And again, this is in translucent. It doesn't have pigment in it. It's really just a set. I don't like using pigmented powders underneath my eyes because it will take away the brightness. And these are really just the areas that I powder. Sometimes I'll powder right here and a little bit on my chin. But I don't like to powder too much on my face because I don't like it to feel cakey or heavy or dry. I normally have normal to dry skin, so that's why I don't like to powder. But if you have very oily skin, go ahead and powder all over your face. For bronzer, we're gonna go ahead and take the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. This is an amazing drugstore bronzer. It's this one's in light bronze, the light bronzer one. I'm just taking a e.l.f. This is a total face brush, and I'm just taking the corners of it, dipping it in, and going in the edges of my face. Using circular motions, blending back and forth, and blending up to raise my cheekbones. Going a bit on my forehead and temples as well, sometimes bronzers can be a little bit much for me, so I'll take the same blending brush I use for my foundation and just kind of tap away or tap at any harsh lines where I either put too much or it just felt too harsh. For blush, I'm going to be using the Milani Luminoso. This is a dupe for the Orgasm blush by NARS. And I'm going to be taking a IT Cosmetics Focus Blush brush in number 113. I'm just taking that on the apples of my cheeks and swiping it up. And again, if you feel like you've done a little too much or you need to blend out harsh lines, use that sponge to blend that out. For highlighter, I'm also going to be taking a Wet n Wild highlighter. This one is in Blossom Glow with a Morphe brush, Morphe highlighting brush. It's the M310. I'm going to put that on my cheeks, swiping back and forth. The bridge of my nose and concentrated on the tip, the high points of my forehead, above the lip, and a little bit on my chin. Those are all the high points of the face, and highlighting the high points of the face enhances those features. All right, and then back to the eyes, I'm gonna do my lower lash line now. I'm going to take that navy blue shade again with a smudger brush and just dragging that across my lash line till I reach the middle of my eyelids. I don't want to go too far in. I'm going to also go back in with that purple navy blue shade and deepen that up a little bit more just on the outer corners of my lower lash line. Blending that in together with a small blending brush. With that same flat brush we used to pack on those shimmer shades, I am going to pack on those shimmer shades. First starting with the blue. Wetting the brush as well. And also going in with that gold. Again, I'm going to blend all of that together with that small blending brush. And do mascara on my lower lash line, the same mascara. For lashes, I'm going to be using the Kiss Lashes in Tulle. And lastly, for lips, we're going to be doing the Shea Moisture lipstick in Berry. Alright, so here is the final look. What do you think? I hope this showed you that you can do just as great of looks with drugstore makeup as you can with high-end makeup, or even that you can do makeup on a budget. If you'd like to see some of my favorite drugstore products that may not have even been mentioned in this video, please check out my TikTok. The user handle will be linked below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more from me. Thank you. Bye.